Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the 1996 Virtual Formula Universe Belgian Grand Prix. It has been a while since we've gone live in the booth um, here at VFU. We've had a lack of commentary services for quite some time, and I've come back as Matthew Sibignoni to give you the pleasure of watching Formula One on Automobilista once again. So I'm glad to see you all again once more. We are just starting the formation lap. On pole is Lewis Wedding, for Benetton Renault, commanding lead in the championship, followed by Ferrari's new hire, Salvatore Sirignano, and his teammate Agostino Baivona. Ronan Griffin, fourth place, the Irishman often finding fourth place in that Williams. Fifth place is Tina Curtis for McLaren Mercedes. Sixth is Alexis Borden for Benetton Renault. Seventh is Nick Holliday for McLaren Mercedes. Eighth is Carol Osterleck for Jordan Peugeot. Ninth, with his teammate Owen Potter for Jordan Peugeot. And rounding out the field last but not least, Jeff Riviere for Ligier Mugen Honda. So as I was saying, it's been a while. I kind of started this broadcast impromptu, could not get the classical graphics up in time for the race start, but it's good to be back in the booth. It is truly good to be back. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the track map up in time either for the race, but I will do my best to cover everyone's movements on the track. Up in time either for the race, but just doing a quick audio check on my end. Seems like everything is okay as the cars trail through the formation lap. Fine and dandy. Oh, and Baivona's had issue. Has he collided with his teammate? And he has a puncture. His race is already over before it's even began. Oh my goodness me. Look at that. His Ferrari is limping. Will they restart? It looks like they may restart. No, it's not. That's just Wedding warming up his tyres. Baivona is going to be furious with himself, and Sirignano is not going to be pleased with the way that's began. Sirignano using the former Irish driver of Matthew Sibignoni's helmet there. So it seems Ferrari couldn't get that retextured in time for the race. The former driver leaving due to technical issues with the car in terms of setup and handling. And already the Ferrari mechanics scrambling to get Baivona's car in racing order. As the cars prepare to take the start, starters orders have been given, the lights are counting down, and we are racing. Tire smoke up into the air as the cars go for the first lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. And it's a clean start, a horrible start for Salvatore and Sirignano, the second Italian of the twin Italian team, and the Italian run team. Ronan Griffin up into second place, a brilliant start. Wedding already pulling away as they go up into Rayon. Jeff Riviere up a place since Baivona's in the pits. Here's Tina Curtis on board. Let's see, with Alexis Borden's rear wing, she's tucked under, and there is no move done. So we have the Canadian up into third place, but the Irish woman is challenging for fourth, gets a little bit squirrely on the outside. I think she's going to get the move done, and she does get the move done. Salvatore Sirignano then now alongside. His nose tucked in, and he gets a brilliant clean pass on the Canadian woman. Owen Potter now up into sixth, after a great start, 3 places taken up side by side along with Alexis Borden. I think Alexis Borden might have an issue because she is very slow there right now. Meanwhile, the championship leader, 3-time world champion, Australian Lewis Wedding already pulling away quite well. Lewis Griffin, the Irishman, on course for second place if he can keep it on the track. Tina Curtis, third place in her McLaren. And I think Salvatore is going to square himself up now for an attack. Where is Agostino Baivona? He is now heading into Pujon, and he clearly isn't happy with the way his start has gone. Very angry driving, and there'll be confusion in the Ferrari pits, wondering how did that accident happen on the formation lap. Meanwhile, Lewis Wedding leads, Ronan Griffin second up into the bus stop, followed by Tina Curtis, Salvatore Sirignano, Alexis Borden, Owen Potter, Karol Ostrolek and Jeff Riviere. Lap 2. Let's go. Hairpin, do we see a move from the Italian? We do not, and that is the late season configuration of the Ferrari F310 with the sharp nose. Tina Curtis is doing well for her McLaren, underpowered and a bit heavier, I think. Still managing to hang with that Williams, the powerful Williams. I think Salvatore is playing his cards right and being patient and waiting for an issue from Ronan Griffin. As the cars trail through. Jordan's running in formation. A great start for both. Owen Potter holding that final precious points paying position of 6th place, while Salvatore Sirignano is hounding Tina, who is hounding Griffin, and we might see another battle on our hands here with Alexis Borden seemingly struggling in that Renault. I can see the understeer and feel it from here. Karol Ostrolek gets a bit squirrely. Let's go on board with the Polish man on the T-cam. Head bobbing from side to side. 300 kilometers per hour. A little bit squirrely, keeps the car straight. Cleanly into the bus stop. Owen Potter playing patient, waiting for his chance. Nick Holliday is now out of the race with a DNF. Let's see what happened to his car. I do not see any particular damage. I didn't have a chance to check how that happened. Lewis Wedding still first, Ronan Griffin second, third Tina Curtis, and I think we might see a move from Salvatore going into the Kemmel straight. Here we go. Nothing yet. Nothing yet, unfortunately. Alexis Borden, and there's a yellow flag. There's a yellow flag. Something has happened. Someone has hit the wall. It's Ronan Griffin again with the bad luck. He's had an off. And there's a puncture. I can see it. There's a puncture, and the front wing is done for. I think this is a retirement. Indeed, it is. Another unfortunate Williams drive. So Jeff Riviere is one car away from points with patient driving, and that's Karol Ostrolek. And oh my! Look at the calamity that is happening before us. This might bring out the safety car. Is he trying to drive that back to the pits? I don't think that's legal. That is not legal what he's doing. There's Alexis Borden, 7th place. Also puncture. We might see a safety car. And Agostino Baivona must be counting his blessings because he's going to get a position for points. The yellow flags are still non-full course. And there's a spin. It seems everything's going wrong this lap. Lap 3 and everything has gone haywire. So Owen Potter now may be coming under the attack of the French driver in the French team. Not quite yet. Tina Curtis now overtaken by Salvatore Sirignano, who's running well for 2nd place. And Agostino Baivona might be securing that 6th place for Ferrari, but he'll be quite pissed to see himself making such a mistake early. Well, not a mistake, but a mishap early on. And that's Alexis Borden trying to repair the car. Karel Osterleck and Ronan Griffin both out of the race. So, a very eventful lap 3 of 22. And Lewis Wedding leads unchallenged from Salvatore Sirignano. And Tina Curtis from McLaren, 3rd place. I think this would be Tina Curtis's 5th or 6th third place. I'm not quite sure. Tina Curtis having a solid season with McLaren, and next year could be something fiercely competitive if she can stay with the McLaren outfit, but that is yet to be seen. Things have gone quite quiet now. We might see a battle against Jeff and Bivona. Let's go on board with Bivona for quite some time. Very calculated driving, not trying to make another mistake, and he's very rapidly catching up to the Ligier, which is completely outclassed by the Ferrari. And that's pretty processional. I was expecting a bigger fight. Meanwhile, nothing changing up front. I think this might be the order for the day. Although Owen Potter is known to put up a fight. The British always like to fight. The British have fought the Italians before, and they'll fight them again. Beautiful brown Benson and Hedges. Not my favourite livery, I prefer the yellow. Bivona rapidly making up time to the British man. Can see the tyre marks where all that calamity with Borden and Osterleck happened at Pouhon. There's going to be a serious fight on our hands here, I'd say. Let's have a look. Bivona only a corner away, and we know that Ferrari can stretch its legs power-wise. Tina Curtis still holding the third position. Well, Salvatore having the race of his life. He actually might have trouble with the McLaren, but he did pull away from her and overtook her quite early on in the race. There's Lewis Wedding just gone over the horizon. Let's see how close Bivona is to Potter. Not at all far away. I'm looking forward to this battle because we have an angry Italian who's had issues with his race start, and we have a fierce British lion in an Irish team who defends like hell. And I'm willing to bet that Owen Potter will not give up fourth easily, and it's going to be something fantastic. It might be the last bit of entertainment we get for the day when it comes to the race. A little bit of porpoising. The car's far above the ground in terms of height to comply with the safety regulations implemented at 95 after the tragic incidents of the 1994 San Marino weekend, the Weikerschaft Protocol they call it. Not many people know it's called that, the Weikerschaft Protocol. Look it up. Bivona rapidly catching up. And that's Riviera, who has no issues, but might have issues later on, because I know Borden has a better car in that Benetton versus the Ligier. Look, almost nothing between the two. Blanchimont now. Salvatore putting in the fastest lap. Let's go on board and find the T-cam. There it is. The wonderful helmet, actually. Let me just mention the wonderful helmet of Bifona's. Great design. Very beautiful car to go along with it. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. T-cam lap with Agostino Bivona, hairpin. La Source. Down towards Eau Rouge. Sweeping up into Radion, where the British driver is screaming in at 280 kilometers an hour. Then we have the Kemmel Straight, bumpy. Lots of action always happens here. Twisty section that the name escapes me at this moment in time due to my tardiness to prepare, unfortunately, with the first stream back in quite some time. Coming down towards Puhan. Look at the amount of cornering speed that the Italian has on the British driver. Owen Potter just out of the strike zone. 7 cars in this Grand Prix. And keep an eye on that timing for Borden to Riviera. There's only 10 seconds between them this lap. Here we go now, Blanchimont towards the bus stop to start the lap all over again. Nose to tail, in the draft, the wind picked up. And Potter is pitting early, so he must have been on the soft compound, and that may have been why he's lost so much time. Due to Bivona having to pit for repairs at the end of the formation lap, he will not need to pit right now. He'll have about a lap or 2 tyres fresher, but now we have Jeff to worry about, or maybe potentially Borden, who is very rapidly closing up on Jeff. Owen Potter out of the pit, so he is in the points irregardless of what happens. We're roughly coming to the halfway point. There's a yellow flag, but I think it's just to make sure that cars exit the pits safely. Let's check Jeff's tyre wear. That is the Frenchman looking into the camera. And it looks like Jeff's tyres are quite well kept. They do not seem to have any issues. Meanwhile, Alexis Borden's are quite awfully scrubbed up. So we could be expecting a pit soon, but it might be after Alexis gains some time. There's a lockup, so the tyres are definitely affecting her. So maybe Jeff was quite genius in his strategy, because he has fresh tyres, not quite worn, so maybe stopped a lap early, and that I missed. Borden has worn tyres, but will probably try to get past the Frenchman before a stop. But I think the Frenchman will then undercut again. We have Owen Potter 5th. Now Bivona is preparing to stop. 14 seconds to Potter. There is Tina Curtis just outside the strike zone, so we're going to see some action. I shouldn't have said the race was quite over after lap 3 in my hubris. There's Salvatore Sirignano. And you know what? Wedding is not that far away. Salvatore did set the fastest lap of the race earlier on. So he might be pushing, but don't make a mistake. Don't give away second place on your Ferrari debut. You're going to need that later on, a year later, if you want to be kept on retainer. So there's Bivona, pit stop. Where is the British? Where is Owen Potter? I can't even hear his engine. Oh, there it is. Here we go, here we go. Bivona just barely getting away with murder. So there won't be a battle on our hands. Let's see what happens down the order. There is Alexis Borden making work to get that last points paid position. Now into La Source. We're going to have a battle. Jeff is one of the most respectful drivers on the grid. He's not one to fight someone who has more pace than him. He's quite Alan Prostian in that he only takes risks he knows he can afford. He's quite the gentleman driver and a thinking man's driver. He likes to pick up points from the mistakes of others. So let's see what he does here. His tyres are very well kept. Still, you can see a tiny bit of graining on him. Here is Borden. The high headrests as part of the safety protocols slowly put into the cars after the events of '94, trying to improve safety. Canadian helmet of Alexis Borden, sponsored by Kingfisher, and Miss Vicky's. I think I missed it. Yeah, Miss Vicky's. Very nice, clean helmet. A lot of these drivers have good taste. And now, let's see how Jeff plays this, because this is the final points paying position. Keep that in mind. It looks like it's just going to be power and nothing Jeff can do. Side by side in Blanchimont towards the bus stop, and there's really no contest. We see a dive back from the Frenchman. No, so he is going to just wait and see how the race turns out. There's no other battling I see for the moment. Bivona will take a while to catch up to Tina Curtis. And Salvatore not making that much, not making that much progress to the Australian, who is eminently dominant as per usual. But word says that he'll be in a very interesting car next year. 11 out of 22, so the race is now exactly half over. And Salvatore isn't that far back, but I do not trust Wedding's current pace. I feel like he could go much faster if he likes. A 51 from Wedding, a 50 from Salvatore. So there is still pushing going on from the Italian, and I will keep a close eye on this. But for now, let's see how far away is Bivona from podium position, and he is still very, very far away. Meanwhile, Potter Lonely in 5th. Jeff in 7th. Where is Borden? There she is. No issues on either's behalf. So let's just keep up with Salvatore Sirignano because he is very comfortable in that Ferrari. Only a corner away. Salvatore extracting the maximum out of the Ferrari number 2 car that he can. And it seems everyone speaking the same language on the Italian team is working wonders. We could have a battle on our hands, honestly. Lewis Wedding did not easily win the British Sega Trophy this year as well. 2 Irishmen on the front row. We had Ronan, and it was also myself, Matthew Simeone's last race. Unfortunately, issues with the Ferrari for me, and I actually kind of ruined Ronan's race with clean defending, but defending nonetheless that lost him a lot of time. A 50 from Ronan, or Lewis, and a 50 from Salvatore. Bit of a laggy fella, but nothing too bad. We can still see him. Let's see the gap, if it is at all decreased, and it is very much decreased. So the journey for Bivona to get a podium is not a long one no more. He is pushing to the absolute max. Let's see what he does in terms of lap time here, because Tina did a 53 and Bivona has done a 51, so he's putting 2 seconds a lap on the Irish woman. Meanwhile, Owen Potter still very comfortable in 5th. And let's see if the Canadian woman will come into the picture. It is a long, long, long wait. So Owen Potter has gotten that 5th place down on lock with not very much left in the race. And there she is, Alexis Borden. And there it is, pit stop. Planned. We'll see. On the jacks, fresh rubber, and it is very much planned from the behavior of the driver, holding the clutch, and we're off again, refueled and ready to go. Where's Jeff Riviere? And it's a battle for 6th, and I told you, this guy is our Alain Prost of the league. Undercut. Now, will he defend is the question. It's a race out of the pits, and it's side by side, and Jeff gets the position. It'll be too risky in Eau Rouge and Radeon to try anything. And Alexis knows that and is going to use the power of the Benetton compared to the Mugen Honda to try and do something on the Kemmel straight. And there's literally nothing, unfortunately, that the Frenchman can do. But it was such a great strategy from him. And with a faster car, more than capable of pulling off better races. But the nationalism to be on Ligier has certainly helped, along with the high pay from the Ligier team, to field the Frenchman. Meanwhile, Bivona, roughly a corner and a straight away from the Irish woman. Let's check with Salvatore. Where is Salvatore? Where is Salvatore? Salvatore is out of the race. And judging by the tyres, off and hit the wall. So now, unfortunately, he could not roll with Lewis and keep up, and he has crashed himself out of 2nd place, which is going to be mortifying for a debut. So now Jeff Riviere will officially be in the points, as always with a clean drive. Owen Potter up into 4th, Bivona 3rd, Tina Curtis 2nd, and I believe that she will drop into 3rd if Bivona shows up very soon. But he seems to have dropped back because he looked like he took a while to come into the picture there. And I suppose Lewis Wedding will be relaxed and composed to continue the race without issue, despite Salvatore's very good pace. I wonder how that happened. It must have been a spin. Couldn't check, and I don't want to, considering that we have a battle brewing on our hands. If this Italian boy, youngest driver in the league, one of the fastest, can prove himself worthy for second place against Tina and the McLaren. The McLaren making severe developments for next season, and that will be a race-winning car very soon. So, not much to talk about as we kind of wait in anticipation for the Italian to catch up, but he's running out of I can't talk. He's running out of laps to do it, and it could be a super fight on our hands. Jeff isn't too far away from Borden. I think Borden's relaxing pace-wise a bit to keep the car on the road. And Owen Potter planning a pit stop, so there could be an attack by the Canadian woman for 4th place against the British man. And he has time. He has more than a gap to get this stop done. Just get into the pits cleanly, a good in lap and a good out lap. Yeah, he has the room. He has 49 seconds to get his stop done. No mistakes, nothing silly. So the race continues. And we await Owen Potter's planned pit stop for Jordan. And in he goes, smooth in lap, excuse me. No issues. Up on the jacks. Borden more than far away. And this will be his last stop. I'd say softs, about roughly 6 laps to go. And Bivona got past Tina Curtis in that time, but he does need to stop while Tina Curtis does not. If he could hold out his compound, he could claim second, but I don't think he'll take that risk. So, the planned pit stop, as he's actually quite very much gapped Curtis. Bivona goes into the pits now. Clean stop. Where is Tina? Oh, it's a race. It's a race. Side by side out of the pits, maybe? Tina has the run. And if she can stay in the draft, there's going to be a move on. There's going to be a move. Side by side down Blanchimont. This is the action we've been waiting. The McLaren's got legs, must have low fuel if Bivona took on any fuel to get to the end. And Bivona switches back. Keeps the position using the legs of the Ferrari V12. Is it V12? Sounds more V10. I think it's the Ferrari V10. I think we'll see if Tina can do her best to stay with the Italian man. Owen Potter looking to finish the race in a comfortable fourth. Alexis Borden far away. Jeff well done in the sixth. If he can keep it on track, that's Bivona second place. Is he going to try? No, there's no way. 48 seconds with barely any laps to go. Tina is staying in the picture though. And that is Jeff to be lapped. Oh, a massive lock-up from Bivona, and there's going to be a chance. But already the Ferrari's legs are stretched far off into the distance. Tina Curtis doing her best to stay with that Ferrari, only 7/10 off. I can see her pushing to stay with him. But the youth of a driver is on Bivona's side. But perhaps Jeff could throw a wrench in the works of his race. But Jeff is a gentleman driver, so don't expect too much. I'm not going to raise your hopes. Nothing more to comment on. 3 laps to go. And Bivona is comfortably pulling away. And look at how respectful that this guy is. He just does not want any trouble, does not want to jeopardize his 6th place whatsoever. This is the reason why Ligier has kept him since 1994. This is going to be Jeff's, I want to say, 2nd season and a half with Ligier. He started with Lotus. Did quite well, I think. 5th or 4th being his best in the Lotus. Went to Ligier, and he's been there ever since, and they love him there. And Owen Potter has screwed the pooch with something, cut the track too much. Got to get that penalty done quickly, and not give Alexis Borden a chance to get 4th. So now we have some late race drama. Let's see how it plays. I wonder how long he'll leave the penalty. I believe the pit speed limit is 120 kilometers per hour, but it's that hairpin. That hairpin will kill his pace. So let's see what the British man does. Bit too much of a lion on track, and he has quite the distance. He has quite the distance to get that drive-through done. There is no sign of Borden. 30 seconds out. There she is. Meanwhile, Lewis Wedding, 2 laps to go, and another Grand Prix win in his book bag. Book? a bag of wins written down in books, his diaries. What am I saying? Anyways, so up through Radion into the Kemmel Strait, nice and smooth, no issues. Bivona still being clung on to by Tina Curtis, who's slowly being pulled away from. A 51 and a 51 from Tina, so Tina is doing her best. 8/10 separating them on that last lap. Now, let's see this drive-through situation. Is he going to leave it late, or is he going to get it done now? I think he's going to get it done now if he's a wise man, and not try to do that 1998 Schumacher shenanigan, I think. So get it done, be clean about it, don't speed again, have the limiter on, you can hear it, let the car tick away. There you go. No chance for Borden to make up any time, only a little. And Owen Potter leaves in his Jordan pristinely and legally. 2 laps to go. Through the bus stop again for the 21st time in a row. 1 lap to go. "30 seconds to the next car. We're not waiting that long." Agostino Bivona with quite the race recovery. Unfortunately for him, just not quite close enough. Tina Curtis, a valiant effort to stay with the Ferrari, but the technology game in Formula 1 is often a cruel mistress. There's a yellow flag, and Jeff has had an issue. Jeff's engine has blown on the 21st lap of the race. He's still going to get his points. Don't be upset. You're still going to get those points. You have nothing to fear. You just have to go back to the garage a little later. He must be kicking himself, but you still get those points, Jeff. Don't you worry. You still get those points. You earned those points valiantly. High attrition Grand Prix there. And Lewis Wedding must be looking on with indifference at that happening. So even still late in the race, there's still calamity. He must be furious, but like, there's nothing wrong with that. You have done enough of the distance to get the points. You're getting that 6th place. I hope someone lets him know. And now the final lap has begun. A little bit of wheel spin. And it looks like Lewis Wedding's kind of on course to lap his teammate. I don't think there's quite enough time, or quite enough of the track left. But I mean, he's only a straightaways away, and it shows just how dominant Lewis Wedding can be ability-wise. Bivona putting in comfortable 150s. Tina Curtis resigning to 152s. Lewis Wedding now. We'll stick with the Australian as he takes yet another Grand Prix victory. Another brilliant drive, clean drive. Not from the pole, but it doesn't matter. When you have your car dialed in as good as he does, you don't need pole. But I think he did start on pole, so I must be talking nonsense. In any case, it seems like Jeff wants to see out the end of the race and just watch it from the sidelines. He knows he's done. I hope he knows he's done his job. I know he has done his job. You get that 1 point, and you continue with your excellent patient driving. Sometimes you just have unfortunate things happen to you, and this would be the first engine failure in quite a while. I think the last time there was an engine failure in VFU, it was Australia 1996. Yeah, it was Australia 1996 in the Ferrari for me actually. Lewis Wedding wins the Belgian Grand Prix, and it's yet another points tacked on. And this will put him one step further to being a four-time world champion, on his way to 7 titles, I bet. And get those donuts done. And there's Agostino Baivona, who won't be pleased. Well, he's happy with his second place, so there's nothing wrong with that. Lewis Wedding isn't sticking around to enjoy. Agostino or Tina Curtis doing a burnout for a good third place. And Lewis Wedding is back into the pits. And with that, your Belgian Grand Prix concludes. Lewis Wedding victorious from Agostino Baivona, a great recovery. Tina Curtis third. Owen Potter fourth. Alexis Borden fifth. And sixth, but classified, is Jeff Riviere. In the DNFs is Salvatore Sirignano with an accident, as well as Carol Ostrolek and Ronan Griffin, as well as Nick Holliday. So I've been your commentator, Matthew Sibignoni, and I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Until next time, don't know if I'll be there to commentate the next race, but I'll definitely try.